10 disgusting things narcissists always do when they are alone. Have you ever wondered what goes on behind closed doors when a narcissist is left with nothing but their own company? Imagine a person who in public radiates charm, confidence, and an impeccable sense of self. Yet when they are alone, a completely different and often repulsive side emerges. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most unsettling aspects of narcissistic behavior. The 10 disgusting things narcissists always do when they are alone. This discussion isn't meant to sensationalize or simply mock these behaviors. It's an opportunity to understand the underlying psychological dynamics that drive a narcissist to engage in such repugnant actions. Whether you have encountered a narcissist in your life, or you're simply curious about the hidden, darker rituals that can occur when the public facade falls away, you are about to discover insights that reveal how deeply the need for validation, control, and self-absorption can warp behavior. Stay with me until the very end as we peel back the layers of these disturbing habits using clinical observations, established psychological theories, and real-life examples. By the end of our discussion, you'll gain not only a better understanding of these behaviors, but also a deeper appreciation for the emotional and psychological torment that drives them. Hello, welcome back everyone, to this comprehensive exploration of the 10 disgusting things narcissists always do when they are alone. I invite you to join me on this journey into the secret world of narcissistic behavior, one that is often hidden from the public eye but speaks volumes about the internal chaos that drives these individuals. As we embark on this discussion, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with anyone who might benefit from a deeper understanding of these complex psychological dynamics. Your support is essential in building a community that values empathy, self-awareness, and emotional resilience. Today's discussion is rooted in years of clinical experience and psychological research, and I will explain in clear, accessible language how certain behaviors, although repulsive on the surface, are deeply connected to the narcissist's inner turmoil. We'll explore the reasons behind these habits, drawing on insights from reputable sources and the work of psychologists who have studied narcissistic personality disorder extensively. Whether you're seeking to protect yourself from toxic relationships or simply aiming to understand the dark undercurrents of human behavior, this discussion will equip you with valuable insights into what happens when a narcissist is left alone with their thoughts and vulnerabilities. Let's begin our journey into this disturbing yet crucial topic. When a narcissist finds themselves alone, away from the adoration and constant validation provided by their social circle, a cascade of unsettling behaviors often takes over. The first disgusting thing that many narcissists do when they are alone is engage in compulsive self-admiration that borders on obsession. In front of a mirror, they might spend an inordinate amount of time scrutinizing every detail of their appearance, often engaging in extended periods of self-praise that can seem almost ritualistic. They may repeatedly recite affirmations, criticize every minor flaw, and adjust their appearance as if they are preparing for an audience that isn't there. This behavior, which researchers in personality psychology have noted is a desperate attempt to generate narcissistic supply from within, reveals a deep insecurity at its core. It is as if, in the absence of external praise, they must create an internal loop of validation to remind themselves of their own worth, even if that worth is built on a foundation of exaggeration and delusion. A second disturbing behavior observed in narcissists when they are alone is the exhibition of secret self-talk that is both grandiose and self-deprecating. In these isolated moments, you may overhear or imagine a narcissist engaging in an internal dialogue that alternates between boasting about their superiority and lamenting their own inadequacies. This internal conflict is not something that is meant to be heard by anyone, yet it often manifests in audible mutterings, especially when the narcissist is deeply immersed in their own thoughts. Clinical observations have revealed that such self-talk is a reflection of the profound inner turmoil that narcissists experience, the constant struggle between their idealized self and the reality of their insecurities. This behavior, while it might sound comical or pitiable to an outside observer, is in fact a window into the chaotic inner world of a narcissist, exposing the pain that they relentlessly try to mask with arrogance and bravado. A third disgusting habit that surfaces in solitude is the tendency toward obsessive digital behavior, especially concerning social media. When alone, a narcissist may spend countless hours scrolling through their past posts, obsessively checking the number of likes and comments they received, and even analyzing every interaction with a critical eye. This digital obsession is not just a way to pass the time. It is an extension of their need for constant external validation. In the absence of real-time feedback, they become fixated on old data, replaying interactions over and over again to assess if they are still admired or if their influence is waning. Researchers have identified this behavior as a form of digital narcissism, where the online world becomes a substitute for genuine, personal interaction. The narcissist's fixation on their digital footprint underscores a profound insecurity. Without constant validation, they feel empty and unimportant. This behavior is as disgusting as it is telling, revealing a reliance on external markers of self-worth that can never truly satisfy their inner void. The fourth behavior on our list is the indulgence in vengeful fantasies and secret planning for retaliation. When left alone, some narcissists may retreat into a private world of elaborate revenge scenarios. In these moments, they might obsessively plan ways to punish those who have dared to challenge their authority or reject them, even if these plans remain purely in the realm of fantasy. This behavior is not an indication of a healthy desire for justice. Rather, it is a manifestation of the narcissist's internal rage, a rage that is fueled by feelings of humiliation and a desperate need to regain control. Clinical literature often refers to this as narcissistic rage, a term that captures the intense, often disproportionate anger that arises when a narcissist's self-image is threatened. The secretive nature of these vengeful fantasies is particularly disturbing, as it suggests that the narcissist harbors a desire not just for retribution but for the complete obliteration of those they perceive as having wronged them. This behavior serves as a chilling reminder of the destructive potential that lies beneath the narcissist's polished exterior. A fifth disgusting thing that narcissists may do when alone is engage in compulsive self-gratification rituals that serve as a replacement for genuine intimacy. In public, a narcissist often uses charm and flirtation as tools to captivate and control those around them. But in solitude, the lack of external validation can lead to extreme self-indulgence. This may include excessive masturbation or other forms of self-stimulation, which are performed in an almost ritualistic manner. While self-pleasure in itself is not inherently problematic, in the context of narcissistic abuse it becomes a desperate attempt to fill the void left by the absence of true emotional connection. Clinical research indicates that such compulsive behaviors are often linked to deep-seated feelings of emptiness and worthlessness. For the narcissist, the act of self-gratification becomes a surrogate for the adoration they desperately crave, yet it also serves as a painful reminder of their inability to form authentic bonds. This cycle of self-indulgence and subsequent shame can be profoundly damaging, both physically and emotionally, and it underscores the depth of their internal disarray. The sixth disgusting behavior on our list is the tendency to engage in secretive, obsessive documentation of their own achievements and failures. When alone, some narcissists become fixated on recording every detail of their lives, jotting down notes about their successes, compiling lists of compliments received, and even keeping diaries that detail every interaction in painstaking detail. This obsessive need to document every moment is not driven by a desire for self-improvement, but by an overwhelming compulsion to prove their worth to themselves. Every accolade and every slight is recorded as evidence that they are either superior or, in the rare moments of self-doubt, to be condemned for their perceived shortcomings. Psychological studies have shown that such obsessive documentation can be a form of self-therapy for narcissists, a way to validate their internal narrative even when the external world fails to provide the necessary reinforcement. However, this behavior is also deeply disturbing, as it highlights the extent to which a narcissist's self-worth is dependent on an endless cycle of self-monitoring and internal validation. The act of obsessively chronicling one's life becomes a self-imposed prison, trapping the individual in a never-ending loop of reflection and self-criticism. A seventh repulsive habit that may surface in solitude is the ritualistic practice of excessive grooming and self-scrutiny that goes far beyond maintaining a neat appearance. When alone, a narcissist might engage in prolonged sessions of grooming, spending hours meticulously styling their hair, applying makeup, or even critiquing every small detail of their physical appearance. This behavior, while it might seem similar to the mirror-gazing discussed earlier, takes on a more obsessive character when performed in isolation. It is as if the narcissist is attempting to perfect every aspect of their appearance in a desperate bid to solidify the facade of invincibility. Yet, beneath this compulsive behavior lies a profound insecurity, a constant reminder that their worth is inextricably linked to their looks. The endless pursuit of physical perfection in private moments can become so consuming that it interferes with other aspects of life, leading to a narrow focus on appearance at the expense of genuine self-growth. Research in the field of body image and narcissism has found that such behaviors are often correlated with deep-seated anxiety and a fear of rejection, making them a clear indicator of the underlying turmoil that defines the narcissist's inner world. The eighth disgusting thing that narcissists often do when they are alone is the compulsive revisiting of past slights and the obsessive reliving of old conflicts. When no one else is around to distract them from their internal world, many narcissists will replay past interactions over and over in their minds, fixating on moments where they felt wronged or disrespected. This rumination is not merely a passive reflection but an active, almost ritualistic engagement with the past, a way of continuously fueling their anger and reinforcing the narrative that they are perpetually victimized. Clinical observations have shown that this tendency to dwell on past grievances is common among individuals with narcissistic traits, as it serves to validate their sense of entitlement and justify their current feelings of anger and bitterness. The act of repeatedly reliving these moments is both a coping mechanism and a destructive habit, one that keeps the narcissist trapped in a cycle of resentment and self-pity. It is a behavior that is as repulsive as it is revealing, exposing the depth of the narcissist's inability to move on from perceived slights and undermining any hope for genuine reconciliation or healing. The ninth repulsive behavior observed in narcissists when they are alone is the tendency to engage in secret self-deprecation despite their outward boasts of superiority. This behavior might seem contradictory at first, but it reveals a profound internal conflict. In private, away from the adoring gaze of others, a narcissist may turn their attention inward and begin to criticize themselves in harsh, unforgiving terms. This self-deprecation is not a sign of humility but rather an expression of deep-seated guilt and insecurity that is hidden behind their public mask of confidence. The narcissist might silently berate themselves for not being perfect enough, for failing to live up to their own unrealistic standards, or for not receiving the adoration they believe they deserve. Such internal criticism, though rarely acknowledged, can be both debilitating and repulsive, as it exposes the chasm between the idealized self and the harsh reality of their emotional pain. Psychological research has shown that this internal conflict is a significant factor in the overall dysfunction of narcissistic personality disorder, as it creates a persistent sense of inadequacy that fuels further destructive behavior. Finally, the 10th disgusting habit that narcissists often exhibit when alone is the ritualistic planning of future conquests and schemes, a behavior that borders on the obsessive. When left alone, some narcissists immerse themselves in daydreams and detailed plans about how they will reclaim power, exact revenge on those who have slighted them, or further enhance their already inflated self-image. This behavior is not merely idle fantasy. It is a compulsive need to imagine a future where they can rectify all perceived wrongs and assert their dominance over the world. These mental blueprints can be incredibly detailed, sometimes involving elaborate scenarios that are as far-fetched as they are disturbing. The narcissist's fixation on future conquests is a form of escapism, a way to distract themselves from the painful reality of their current limitations and to maintain the illusion of control. Clinical studies have noted that such obsessive planning is common among individuals with narcissistic traits, as it serves as a temporary salve for their deep-seated insecurities. Yet, the darker side of this behavior is that it often leads to further isolation and a deepening of the narcissist's internal despair, as the gap between their dreams and their reality becomes increasingly insurmountable. As we reflect on these 10 disgusting things that narcissists always do when they are alone: compulsive self-admiration, conflicted self-talk, obsessive digital behavior, vengeful fantasy planning, self-destructive indulgence, ritualistic documentation, excessive grooming, rumination on past slights, secret self-deprecation, and obsessive planning for future conquests, we come to understand that these behaviors are far more than mere eccentricities. They are the raw, unfiltered manifestations of a deeply wounded psyche, born from years of manipulation, control, and emotional deprivation. Each of these actions is a window into the narcissist's inner world, a world where the relentless need for validation, control, and superiority creates a turbulent mix of self-obsession, insecurity, and despair. From a psychological perspective, these behaviors are symptomatic of the profound internal conflict that defines narcissistic personality disorder. Clinical research, supported by numerous case studies and expert analyses, has shown that the very traits that enable narcissists to project confidence and dominance in public are also the source of their most repulsive and self-destructive habits when they are alone. It is important to approach this subject with a compassionate understanding that while these behaviors may be disgusting and off-putting, they are also indicative of deep-seated psychological pain. Narcissistic abuse and the resulting internal turmoil do not arise in a vacuum. They are the product of long-term emotional neglect, trauma, and the relentless pressure to maintain a facade of perfection. The disgusting mannerisms we have discussed are, in essence, a cry for help, a desperate attempt by the narcissist to fill the void left by years of failed validation and unmet emotional needs. They serve as a reminder that beneath the veneer of arrogance and self-importance lies a person who is profoundly wounded and struggling to cope with the consequences of a lifetime of emotional manipulation. Understanding these behaviors is not intended to excuse the harm that narcissists may cause, but rather to provide insight into the complex interplay between internal trauma and external behavior. By shedding light on these hidden rituals, we can better appreciate the underlying psychological mechanisms at work and, in turn, develop more effective strategies for dealing with the fallout of narcissistic abuse. Whether you are someone who has experienced narcissistic abuse firsthand, or you are seeking to understand the enigmatic behaviors of narcissists from a psychological standpoint, recognizing these patterns is a critical step toward healing and self-empowerment. Thank you for staying with me through this comprehensive exploration of the 10 disgusting things narcissists always do when they are alone. I truly appreciate your time and engagement as we navigated these intricate psychological dynamics together. If you found this discussion enlightening, empowering, or even just a bit eye-opening in understanding the hidden behaviors of narcissists, please consider subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and sharing it with anyone who might benefit from these insights. Your support is invaluable in building a community that values empathy, self-awareness, and the pursuit of emotional healing. I invite you to leave your thoughts, experiences, and comments below so that we may continue this conversation and help each other gain further clarity on the complex interplay between trauma, self-perception, and the disturbing rituals that can define a narcissist's private world. Thank you once again for your attention, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you in future discussions as we explore more transformative topics that promote healing, resilience, and lasting change.